morning, Dr. Khalid. Thank you very much for joining us today. It's a pleasure to have you with us. My name is Obole Stephanie, and I'll be conducting this interview for FIP ECPG. And today we'll be talking about your journey in pharmacy, your experience with FIP ECPG, and the impact of the ECPG alumni on the growth of the group and the profession more broadly. Can you introduce yourselves to us, please?
Yes, thank you for the opportunity. And first of all, I would like to express my profound gratitude to FIP ECPG for this kind invitation. And thank you, Ogbole, for the logistics to reach to this point today. So, my name is Khalid Garba Mohammed, and I had my Bachelor of Pharmacy degree from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, in Nigeria, and also my MSc in Pharmaceutics from the same university. And I had my PhD in Applied Pharmaceutics from the University of Milan in Italy. Career-wise, I started as hospital and community pharmacy, and then navigate through academia with Bayero University, Kano, in Nigeria. And then after my PhD, I moved from Nigeria to Queen's University, Belfast in Northern Ireland, where I had my postdoc training. After my postdoc, then I joined an industry, pharmaceutical industry in London, PubRx, which specialized in pharmaceutical 3D printing. After some years there, working on some very strategic projects that I believe will impact the world, and then moved back to academia. I moved to Kingston University, London, served as a lecturer in pharmaceutical sciences. And then just early this month, I joined the services of Newcastle University as a lecturer in pharmaceutics. So in summary, this is my trajectory or my career journey. Thank you.
It sounds like you had a very interesting pharmacy journey.
Thank you. Thank you, Ogbali.
So your career, let's talk about that first. Your career is quite impressive. It spans across academia, industry, and global health. So if I may ask, what inspired these diverse paths? If you can tell us a little bit about that.
All right. Yeah, thank you for that question. Well, some things are deliberate, while some just happen spontaneously. For instance, as a final year pharmacy student, it was very clear to me that the journey I want to take as a career is going to be academia. But at that time, I wasn't sure specifically in the academia, like, okay, which portfolio? Is it pharmaceutical chemistry? Is it clinical pharmacy? But I know I just have the passion to lecture. I want to lecture. It's clear to me that I want to be a lecturer. So after that, a bachelor degree, I get into hospital and community pharmacy practice. After a few years, I joined Bayero University, Kano. Then obviously it means my dream come to reality. So I joined academia. I continue the journey up to the point where I get my PhD because in the academia, for instance, you need a PhD to progress to the highest level. So I ensure I had that. So yeah, things continue. And in 2022, I had the opportunity to join Queen's University in Belfast for my postdoc program. The intention then was like do the postdoc 1 year and then go back and continue my journey in Nigeria, my academic journey in Nigeria. But then things happen. I had an opportunity to join an industry in London when I finished my postdoc. That is around 2023. Then I switch, obviously. So that is also part of the spontaneous thing I'm talking about. Some are deliberate, but some are spontaneous. So that industrial part just happens spontaneous. I just say to myself, okay, why not try? Let's see. So, and it is an experience that I will never regret. It's one of the most important career trajectory I had. So I check with the industry, learn a lot of things actually through the process. And then another opportunity popped in. I saw it. I just like reluctantly applied to join the service of Kingston University as a lecturer. And then it happened. And then I switched back to academia. In the academia, when I joined Kingston, then it became more clearer to me that yes, this is actually my path. So the academia is definitely my path. So that's what I now focus on. So in between the hospital and academia, I started to experience the public health sector. That is where I joined the organization NGOs like Clinton Health Access Initiative. I was working in the hospital, then I was asked to represent part of the Kano State Hospital Management team to work with the CHI, Clinton Health Access Initiative, to execute some project related to logistic and supply chain of medicines, and then some aspect of like training trainers. You are trained and then you train the lower healthcare workers. So I enjoy that a bit because it involved also traveling across villages, primary healthcare facilities. And also another opportunity came in when I finished my PhD, where I also work with the PwC in Nigeria. Also, that involves logistics and so on. So in summary, these are the process. Some are deliberate while some spontaneously happen, but none of this is, I would say, making me to regret. All the experience, every bit of it matters and it's important to my trajectory.
Thank you very much. And that's very inspiring. So both deliberate and spontaneous is quite helpful. So on to the next. When did you first get involved with the International Pharmaceutical Federation? And what drew you to ECPG? If you can briefly tell us.
Yeah. So my first contact with FFE in general was in 2015. I don't know how to put it, but I like organization, joining professional organizations. So I was part of Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, Young Pharmacist Group, I will say at that time. Then an opportunity came, PSN, Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, through the Young Pharmacist Group, wanted to sponsor some young pharmacists to attend the FFE Congress that time in Düsseldorf, Germany. So I just say, let me try the application for the scholarship. It's kind of a sponsorship. I apply and I was successful. Thanks to Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, especially the president that time, Olumide. And thanks to pharmacist Ahmed Ibrahim Yakase also, he was very instrumental in guiding me through that process at that time. And also thanks to Sheun Omobo. She was one of the young pharmacist group, that was the name back then, chairperson at that time. So she was also very instrumental. So I got that opportunity and we traveled to Düsseldorf, Germany. That was my first FIP Congress. And then through that, I get to know the activities of the FIP ECFG, get involved. And then after that, I was inspired because, as I said, I like unionism things. Anything that two, three people come together to build, I think is important. You get to learn from other people and so. So that's how it started. From there, when we get back home, I continued to get myself
But this
involved and
network has
then
disconnected.
always seeing opportunity and getting myself part of it.
Looking back, did you have access to mentors early in your career, or did you largely navigate things independently on your own? Were you open to the mentee relationship?
Yeah, thank you for that, Opole. Well, I will also say both here. One, also like spontaneously pursue things, and then as things unfold, then you maybe carry the mentors along or you pick the mentors along. Like industrial career, for instance, nobody asked me to go there, so I just get myself there, and then I learn a lot from it. So then, yeah, I decide, okay, this can be my mentor through the process, and still I'm in contact with. But some, like I have a mentor back then in Nigeria, Pharmacist Ahmed Ghana. He worked in American Teaching Hospital. He was really mentor because I remember even when I became PAN's president, Pharmaceutical Association of Nigerian Students, right? I just received a message from him congratulating me. So it means someone is watching you, right? So he has been very supportive and a good mentor throughout my early career, even from students throughout my early career. And up to now, we are still in contact. Whenever I need some professional guidance, I reach out to him and we talk it through together. So he has been supportive from the beginning. And then, yes, from the different areas I practice, as I mentioned, I can decide on my own. I believe with my conscience always. But then along the process, I pick some mentors. Like when I joined the public health and supply chain, yes, that also happened spontaneous. But then I pick some mentors like Dauda. He is working in Global Fund, Geneva right now. and then like pharmacist Hamiso Hassan also working in logistics. So they became my mentors, but that was like after I kind of get myself into the role. And then also in the industrial past of aspect, I just get there spontaneous or serendipity by serendipity. But then I also get to pick some mentors like Alvaro Gayones, who was my former boss. He's still a mentor, very supportive. I still maintain contact with him. That's very important. And then when you come to academia, yes, I have mentors. Obviously, my PhD professors are my mentors. And I have also one professor in University College London, Professor Abdul Basit, is also my mentor because he has been also very supportive and encouraging. And of course, some mentors like I met in Kingston University and now to the Newcastle University. Yeah. So I do have access to mentors, but as I say, I always trust my conscience. I know what I want and I go for it. But of course, I still reach out to people that are my seniors to seek for guidance, sometimes for advice.
It's very important to trust your conscience and also seek for guidance when necessary.
Yes.
You served, as we said earlier, as the ECPG UNESCO Unit Wing Liaison and contributed to the FIP COVID-19 Advisory Group. Can you tell us briefly how these roles shaped your career, if they had any impact on your career at all?
Yeah, they do. My role as FIP ECPG liaison for FIP UNESCO program uh, was an ample opportunity for me to understand the pharmacy education landscape across different regions of the world. So, as an academic, I think it's a real privilege to understand how is pharmacy education look like in, for instance, the US, in developing countries like other African, I know I'm from Africa, for some from other African countries or from Asia. So developing and developed world, what it takes, what are the challenges and what are the key things that are working. So these are the key deliverables we deliver in through that process. So definitely it helped me understand my career more appropriately. As an academic, I work in developing nation, for instance, in Nigeria, and now in the UK. So I kind of through that opportunity learn already like what it takes and what it looks like. So that definitely helped because it also helped me to collaborate, learn the communication skills. Like I collaborate with a lot of people, most of them professors, and also the FIP headquarter. Thanks to Nilhan Uzman, she was my contact person then in FIP headquarters. So she has been very supportive and always guide on the deliverable, what you need to do, and so on. So it has been very impactful journey of my career. Yeah.
How important do you think networking is in the global pharmacy, in pharmacy globally, and how can early career pharmacists develop these skills effectively?
So, um, global networking, I think, is what FIP is all about. You have friends from across the globe, and you get to share sometimes, especially when you are in the role like ECPG committee member, you get to share some responsibility. Sometimes you get to differ in some opinion, but then you have to learn tolerance and your ability to effectively maybe communicate your own viewpoint and learn from others. So this is a big picture for me to give you a chance to learn from others, teamwork spirit, communication skills, and so on. So it is very important, I believe. What young pharmacists will need is obviously to always seek for those kind of opportunity and to get themselves involved through the process, learn from each other, respect others, learn communication skills, learn some soft skills like writing skills, report writing, and so on. So I believe this is the way, and it will give you a lot of opportunities. A lot of opportunities. I get to have a lot of friends through my involvement. For instance, a lot of people that I obviously cannot even mention their number, but names and names, but many I learned a lot from them, and we are still in contact with some of them because obviously this is what the global networking means.
As an alumni of ECPG, How do you think alumni like yourself are contributing to the growth and influence of ECPG today?
Through mentorship and obviously program like this, you get involved, you try to inspire others. But most importantly, I think through the mentorship, you serve as a mentor and you get some mentees assigned to you. You guide them, you support them. And that's something I have been doing with FIP ECVG for years now. Sometimes I assign some mentees, I mentor them, we organize a meeting, and sometimes we even meet face to face and so on. So I think the alumni can contribute through this mentee programs and volunteering when they are called upon, for instance, for things like this. And yeah.
That is very good. I've actually had the opportunity myself of meeting some alumni in the ECPG through some of these networks, and obviously I have the opportunity of meeting you too, so that's very
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Yeah.
If we can briefly go back to your work in pharmaceutical 3D printing and drug development is really innovative and inspiring. We would like to know how can young pharmacists position themselves for emerging fields like this one?
All right. Thank you for the comment on pharmaceutical 3D printing. Yeah, I think number one is passion. Your passion drives you to so many things. When you are doing something that you love, every day is an opportunity, right? So every day is just like a bonus because you love what you do. So that is me, for instance. I love it. I like it. And I wake up always with some things like how can I make it more important, more relevant, and so on. Everyone have his own passion, like someone to go into person pharmaceutics or pharmaceutical 3D printing, someone to go into clinical practice. So if we want to go into pharmaceutical 3D printing, for instance, or innovations like this, because my research focus on pharmaceutical 3D printing and development of like smart drug eluting medical devices. So you need to have passion for it. Then you need to okay navigate what are the requirements to get there. Is it an MSc that you need to get into the field, or is it a PhD? Okay, through the process, if it is PhD, what do you need? You need to understand the requirement after the motivation or the passion. And then once you get there, you need to be also keen to learn new things. It could be challenging, but your desire to learn and your enthusiasm to learn will always pave the way for you, no matter how challenging it is. So these are some of the few things that I will advise a young pharmacist to focus on with passion in
Okay,
pharmaceutical 3D printing, of course.
that's really nice. It's actually a field I would also look into because it seems very, you
Oh,
know,
cool.
in
Yeah,
there.
happy to help with that. So yeah, feel free to reach out.
Yeah,
All it
thank you
needs
very
is
much.
just yeah, passion and of course your eagerness to learn. I when I started, I think yeah, I had an MSc in pharmaceutics, but it's not like directly aligned to the 3D printing. So I started to learn pharmaceutical 3D printing during my PhD. It was completely new concept to me, but I convinced myself that yes, I must learn, and I will learn, and I learned. And through that, the pharmaceutical 3D printing company I work in London also specialize in that aspect. So you can see how things the first thing you need to convince yourself, you need to convince your mind that yes, you can do it, especially when you have the passion. So once you get there, no matter how difficult it is, you will learn, you can learn and you can do it. And you can even make it better because that's what I'm doing now. I'm trying to make it better, not only to go into the lab and 3D print medicine, but I also want to now take it into the clinical settings, practice wise. So that is my ultimate goal now. Okay, from the lab, how can we translate it now into the practice, hospital, community pharmacy? That is the goal now.
Thank you very much. So following this, if you could design the your ideal mentorship program for early career pharmacists, what would it look like?
Well, usually I used to mentor a lot of young pharmacists and not only young pharmacists, early career professionals. And yeah, to narrow it to your question, mostly I organize meeting, sometimes face to face, depending on the location of the person. Sometimes we do like online like this. Sometimes we do through a phone call. Some will reach out, they want the mentorship, and then like how to initiate it is important, how to start. So usually I either organize a call, a face-to-face meeting, or a Zoom or a virtual meeting like this. So first I ask questions. Where are you and where do you want to go? The career journey complete, and then like the specific area that the person wants to practice. Because sometimes what I get to understand is that they get stuck, they are here, but they are not sure if this is what they really want, the young pharmacists. I had the same when I was like navigating the early stage. So I asked them, what do you feel like you are more comfortable with? Sometimes you may not get exactly what you want at the start, but I think the most important is to keep the face, you keep going and you keep in mind that what you want. Then you start to like, I start to ask them to write down if they want to get to that particular point, what and what do they think they will need. So we itemize what they will require, if it is a skill, soft skill, additional qualification, and so on. So we work through that. And then we start to pursue that. I help them navigate the opportunities, and then we to continue like that. Feedback is important. So from time to time, you check on each other. Sometimes they check, kind of want to update. Sometimes I reach out, ask, okay, what is the status? So that's how I usually design my mentorship, and I believe it has been effective. And I have been seeing the outcome, and I always feel happy when I help and see someone progress to become something.
Thank you very much. That sounds like a very interactive mentorship program, actually. So
It is.
that's
It
really
is.
nice.
It is usually. It is dialogic usually. So you get
Mm.
sometimes you get to even learn from the mentees. That's what I have learned over the years.
Okay, so what roles should organizations like the International Pharmaceutical Federation play in improving access to opportunities globally? I know that FIP and through the ECPG channel, we usually see opportunities for mentorship, leadership programs, volunteer opportunities, scholarships, hackathons, designathons. So what other roles do you feel the FIP should play in improving access to other opportunities globally?
I think actually you mentioned it all. If I may add, maybe yeah, if I may add, maybe could be liaising more with like local chapters, FIP, ECPG, or FIP, along with ECPG, liaising with local chapters. Local chapters, I mean regional and national ECPG, Young Pharmacists Group organizations, to kind of have more streamlined mentorship program, and maybe more streamlined opportunities like the travel grant. When I was, I think I was doing my PhD that time, but there was an opportunity for the travel grant. I was sponsored to Abu Dhabi, FIP Congress in Abu Dhabi in 2019. So that's an opportunity. If you have limited access to sponsorship, if those opportunities reach out to you, so it's easier, you can be able to apply. That can reduce the barrier, especially for young generation pharmacists from low and middle income countries. So streamlining the those kind of opportunity, channeling through local chapters, I think can boost and reduce the barrier and ease the access for the global opportunities for everyone.
Thank you. And you actually covered our next question. What can ECPG do to support pharmacists from resource limited or underrepresented settings? So yes, liaising with regional and national,
Yes.
people that you can access
Yeah.
easily or
Yeah.
much more easier than
Absolutely.
yeah, so that will
Ab-
really
Absolutely.
help.
Yeah. Like, yeah,
Um,
my first FIP Congress in 2015 was through that national ECPG program. And then my second sponsorship to Abu Dhabi was through the FIP the FIP headquarter travel grant program. So I think once you can get access to those opportunities, you can apply. It's not only one way, even though. So the young pharmacists also need to be searching for opportunities. That is my point.
that's true. You need to search because what you don't know,
You
you won't
don't
see.
exactly, you will lose it.
Looking ahead, what impact would you like to see ECPG alumni have in the next 5 years, broadly in general?
I would like to see more early career pharmacists getting into strategic positions, like in the World Health Organizations, for instance, obviously in FIP itself, because there are pharmacists working in the FIP, right? So I would like to see early career pharmacists working in developmental programs like Global Fund program. Why? Because I know there is a number of opportunities that you get to learn from mentors in FIP that have different portfolio. Some are working in different sectors, some are professors. So I want those resources to be utilized by early career pharmacists so that their career journey in the next 5 to 10 years can be impactful so that they are in strategic global position, that they can influence policies, that they can make changes, and they can also like come back and pay back to the same system that supported them while they are progressing in their early stage.
Yes, we need to actually have impact globally so we can also help those coming under us by repairing things that may need adjustments now so that it can
Exactly.
be easier for the upcoming ones.
Absolutely.
Okay, I would like you to advise us early career pharmacists who feel stuck or unsure about their career path. You mentioned something relating to this earlier, how most of us or some of us actually are still trying to arrange ourselves. Okay, what do I want to do? Am I sure this is what I want to do? So if you could just give us a word of advice, what advice will you give us?
One 2 or 3 things to consider. I understand this and I was there. So it is normal. That is one thing you need to know. It's normal to feel stuck sometimes. It's normal to feel like, am I really on the right track? Is it really what I want? Do I need to change? So it is absolutely normal. There is nothing wrong with that. The only thing is that you have to sometimes take a pause, think, and where you need to reach out to mentors, but it is normal. So exercise patience, that is very important. Things happen, but they don't happen just when you want. Sometimes it's through the patience. You need to learn discipline and you need to chase honesty and integrity. These are very fundamental, very key. Patience, chase integrity and honesty. They will help you push boundaries. Yes, the beginning can be unsure and confused, but you need to keep the faith. Make sure you are moving because a single step is better than making no step at all. So make sure you are moving, something is happening. That is one thing. But exercise discipline, very important. And sometimes you need to be flexible with your choices. What you want, the big picture may not just happen now. So you should be flexible. Flexible in the sense that if you are in one place, you try your best with the patience, with all these discipline things that I said. Maybe it's not working. So be flexible. Be flexible. You can switch, especially in the early stage. Okay. I switched to industry and then back again to academia. So it's normal. Some of this switch we make are what make the career even more interesting, the trajectory more interesting. Okay. So exercise discipline, honesty, integrity, and then be flexible. I'm not saying chase this and that's very quick, but at least with time. So the second point for the young pharmacists or early career that are stuck at the moment to consider is the fact that they are writing a story in that journey. So they should always think of what can I do so that my story can be a story worth of inspiration, worth of emulation. That story should be a story of success. Yes, success cannot happen overnight. They take time. And they should also make sure that that story is written based on the ability to help one another, to help others. Because while helping others, one thing I observed is that you will see a lot of opportunity also coming your way. So that's another thing to consider. And then last but not least is they should explore opportunities to collaborate with others. They should always have that inspiration to work with others, to collaborate with others, But something also to remember is the fact that while you collaboratively work with others, there's always going to be some people that may sometimes think or try to cast doubt into your abilities to do things. So they should always remember that is usually a psychological battle that you need to fight inside yourself. And the greatest battle to win, I think, is the battle that you win inside your mind. So if you allow whoever is creating or making you to feel doubt about yourself win, that is the problem. So you need to make sure that you win that battle. Always believe in your conscience. If you really believe in your conscience, what I observed is that you have the ability to change the world. So this is my advice to young and early career pharmacists.
All right, thank you very much. And that is solid advice because in this world that is so fast-paced, youths don't really have patience
Yeah.
and some people don't want to collaborate.
Yeah. Silos is a killer, so don't work in silo. Collaborate, always collaborate. Reach out to mentors, reach out to colleagues that you think they are part of a progressive mind. But then, yeah, you should know that always challenge comes. Some of those challenges come through people, the people that you work with. So they may create doubts, they may have some issues with you, but that's normal. You just have to win that. You need to convince yourself, yes, others do it, that therefore you can do it. So go for it, win it, believe and trust your conscience, and trust me, you can change the world.
Thank you for joining us. Finally, I'd like to ask you to summarize everything by telling us what being part of ECPG means to you.
Well, it means everything. It means the whole world to me because I had opportunities that money cannot buy. I don't know if I mentioned this, but through ECPG, I was able to, yeah, you mentioned it during the introduction. Through ECPG, I was able to attend the World Health Assembly in Geneva in 2019. That is an amazing opportunity, one of the best things that ever happened to me in my journey through FIP ECPG. I get to understand the working of the WHO, the World Health Assembly, the different side events. I met a lot of people. So being part of FIP ECBG means everything to me, my career wise. It has been part of me since 2015. That's over a decade now, and it has been amazing.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate you being here with us today to speak with us and sharing your time, experience, and insights. It has been such a pleasure, and I've learned so much. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Thank you. The pleasure is mine.